Well, wait a second. There's context to that. If those people are here illegally, I'm in support of them being deported, not being
That
deported
wasn't
to
my...
an El Salvador prison.
Okay, well, that's what Donald Trump has done. We've learned...
and I disagree with that. I disagree. Look, if I had to criticize every single thing Biden did, I'm guessing you wouldn't say you 100% supported everything he did.
Can you please give me an example where Joe Biden defied our Supreme Court and defied our Constitution, and then I'll absolutely agree with you. Please give me an example.
No, I can't.
You can't. You know why? Because Joe Biden didn't do that. That's why. I'm giving you specific examples of how Donald Trump defies the Supreme Court and defies our own Constitution, and you're trying to make a comparison to Joe Biden. I didn't agree with everything Joe Biden did, but the difference is Joe Biden didn't. Joe Biden wasn't above the law, and he didn't have immunity, okay? And he was giving people the right to due process.
His family apparently did.
I'm sorry, what?
His family apparently did when he pardoned them.
What did his family do? What did they do?
Well, apparently nothing, but he pardoned them anyway.
What did they do, though? What did they do?
Apparently nothing.
Okay,
and he
you're right.
Pardoned them anyway.
You're right.
No,
not apparently. Members of his family were not charged with a crime other than Hunter Biden during Joe Biden. Donald Trump is the guy that pardoned a bunch of January 6th insurrectionists, some of whom beat police officers with their own batons. If you want to talk about pardons, why don't you bring up those pardons? Doesn't that bother you, David? Why is
You've asked me that question before.
Why is it that
it's not black and white? I agree that some should be pardoned and some shouldn't. Almost every single issue, I'm going to disagree with Trump and agree with Trump based on the situation. It's that simple.
Based on the situation. So you think the situation calls for people not getting due process?
No, I don't. But here's what I'm saying in regards to that is they have to deport millions of people. A lot of mistakes are going to be made, which I disagree with.
It's not a mistake.
Correct,
sir, with respect, it's not a mistake when you send people to one of the most maximum security prisons in the world on a hunch because they have tattoos. That is not a mistake. It is called, simply put, breaking the law and breaking our own Constitution and what our forefathers told us that we should or shouldn't do. A mistake is when you lock your keys in your car. A grave mistake, in my personal opinion, is you voting for Donald Trump. That's a big mistake. A bigger mistake is Donald Trump not giving people the rights to due process. You try to keep making correlations between Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and the Democrats to what Donald Trump is doing. There is no correlation. George W. Bush got us into an ill-advised war.
I'm talking about strictly in terms of war.
And George W. Bush got us into an ill-advised war. You couldn't name me one war that a Democrat started. Right now, Donald. As we speak, because you have no idea what the logistics are when you are in the middle of a war. You have no idea, and there is not a comparison between withdrawals and attempting to try to get out of a war, which can take years, in some cases even decades, than who started the war.